Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This will be a top 10 favorite werewolf figures in the collection video, only including stuff that's pretty much official and you can go out and buy it online. Some of the pieces might be quite hard to find now or quite expensive, but not including any custom made stuff. I'll show you that stuff later, but everything I'm going to be including in the top 10 is pretty much officially licensed. I've got a few of the sort of more obscure companies like Cool Models who make that werewolf there, and also this big 1/6 scale werewolf, that's by Cool Models, but you can find them online. Let me know what your favorite werewolf collectibles are. Let me know what your favorite werewolf movies are, maybe your top 3 werewolf films. I'd love to know that. My top 3 are, number 1, Dog Soldiers. Number 2, it's pretty much a tie between American Werewolf in London and The Howling, but I think I'd have to give it to The Howling just because I prefer the werewolves in that movie. But I do love American Werewolf in London pretty much equally. And then Bad Moon or Silver Bullet. But yeah, I'd love to know what your top 3 werewolf movies are and what your favorite werewolf collectibles are. So drop a like on the video for me, that's important. Helps more people find the video. And strap in and enjoy. There's a full moon tonight as well as I'm filming this, no joke. I'll flash up a picture on the screen. I took a picture before I came in the room. Nice bright full moon in the sky at night. Alright, enjoy the video folks. Alright, number 10, we have a Doctor Who werewolf action figure from a really cool episode of Doctor Who featuring this werewolf. I'm not really a Doctor Who fan, I've never really seen too much of that show to be honest. It's just not really for me, but I remember when this episode was coming, they pushed it pretty hard on BBC in the UK. The trailer was on quite a lot, and I remember thinking, well, there's no way I'm missing out on this episode because that werewolf looks awesome. And then one day in Woolworths in the UK, back when there was Woolworths, I saw this on the shelf and I had to get it. It's really poseable, it's got some really obvious joints, but it is a kid's toy, like an action figure for kids, so that's totally forgivable. But an amazing head sculpt, really, really good. Lovely sculpt on it, great detail, nice sharp teeth. I think you can get them standing pretty much upright. I'll try that for you. I'll also just show you some pictures of the packaging now. I don't have the packaging anymore. I was trying to work out who made it. So here is the back of the box, or the packaging for the figure. See if you can spot anything that will help you track it down, especially if you're in like the USA or any of far out countries from the UK. You just got some details there, and I'll just scroll across. It was the top of the package at the front, posable action figure set. And yeah, you can definitely get him to stand up because he was standing up in the packaging. Look, it's a great werewolf figure. If you repaint this and do a bit, not that it needs it, but you could have some fun with this repainting it. And yeah, it's a really cool werewolf. I'd like to find a way to conceal the joints a bit, maybe add hair to it. Folks out there who add hair to their werewolf figures, like the Necker Kessler wolf and stuff, you could have some fun with this. Yeah, I can't really see an obvious company name. It just says BBC in certain places, but that's the one. I'm going to see if I can get him standing up for you. I had to put this in the top 10 because of its posability and the impressive sculpt. It's a really good looking werewolf figure. Episode wasn't too bad either. Haven't seen it in a good few years. I think that was like the early noughties, I think, 2006, 2007 maybe, I'm guessing, but it's around then. Alright, now I've just gotten beside a Necker Ultimate Halloween 2 Myers figure just to give you a bit of a height comparison. But there he is standing upright, and it looks really impressive. I kind of feel a bit bad at putting him at number 10. I think it could definitely be higher because the sculpt is fantastic. So that's how I think he's probably maybe the same sort of scale as the NECA figure here. Obviously he's taller because he's a werewolf, but he seems to suit that kind of scale quite well as far as interacting with other figures. But I love the look of it. I'll take Myers away in a second, but look at the sculpt on the back as well. All on the arms there, but the business end is the sculpt on the head here, transitioning into the neck and the chest. Really decent. Do love the head sculpt. Great posability in the neck, because you can get him on all fours as you saw at the beginning and have him looking straight forward, and when you stand him upright you can tilt the head right down. Very, very nice. So yeah, you can get him looking like he's howling at the moon. There's no swivel in the wrists or anywhere in the arms, so the hands are always kind of facing like down like this, or just flat, but you can move them up and down. But the articulation in the neck is fantastic. It's a really good sculpt, so I am very glad to have this, and I'm sure a few of you out there might be jumping on eBay to see if you can find one, and I wouldn't blame you, because it's a nice addition to any werewolf collection. Nice little bit of werewolf action figure history. So at number 10 we have the Doctor Who werewolf action figure. At number 9 I have my PCS Collectibles small version of the Howling statue, and it was thanks to Slasher Junkie on YouTube. Got me this from America. Quite hard to track these down. I'll get it out of the box for you and show you in a minute, but the reason it's not higher on my list is because it's just a statue and doesn't move, but it is an incredible sculpt, great pose, and one of my favourite werewolves of all time. Probably my favourite werewolf design of all time. Even though Dog Soldiers is my favourite movie, the Howling are my favourite werewolves. Just cruel, vicious, terrifying, nasty. Beautiful packaging, displays really well, collector friendly, so you can leave it in there and it still looks great. But yes, here we are at number 9, and that was Comic-Con 50 International. That was where you could get it, and I was stressing out thinking, how the hell am I going to get one of these, and Slasher Junkie came through like an absolute hero. Alright, so here it is out of the box, and it's an excellent pose. Nice base as well, with some cool bloodstain effects on there. It's got a few things missing from the larger version of the statue, like the skull and some other details, but that's okay. Beautiful pose, beautiful sculpt. I like the colour, that kind of greyish charcoal kind of colour to the fur. Really intense look in the face. Love those pointy ears. There's no way you could hide from this thing. If it doesn't smell you, it's certainly going to hear you breathing. Absolute, right out of your worst nightmares. Like the tagline from The Howling says, imagine your worst fears are reality. And here it is. But it doesn't move. It's just a statue, so I had to put him quite, low down in the top 10, just because there's not much you can do with it. But it is pretty much essential. One of the best werewolves and one of the best werewolf movies of all time. Number 9, PCS Collectibles miniature Howling statue. At number 8 we have the NECA Ultimate Nightmare Demon figure, which came with so many, I think 4 different head sculpts, all really different. Now it's not your, your typical look of a werewolf, but it is technically a werewolf, and because of the gorgeous packaging and the amount of accessories, the 4 different heads you get, great posability, such a great sculpt, awesome paintwork, and just a lot of fun. Have to put this at number 8. If you want to see the gorgeous packaging and all the different looks you can put it in with the different head sculpts, check out the review I did on the channel. But this is, it's a classic scene from a classic werewolf movie. Still a bit shocking to this day. Oh, and I was going to complain about the camera going out of focus, but then it is actually showing the poster for the movie in the background, so that's pretty cool. I hope one day NECA bring us Jack and David. That would be awesome. But they're taking care of us, slowly but surely. They're giving us everything we want. I really want NECA to do a Howling werewolf. I'd also love a Dog Soldiers werewolf, but yeah, We'll see what happens in the future. Number 8, the Ultimate Nightmare Demon figure, because it's absolutely fantastic. From an absolute classic, so many people's favourite werewolf movie, and rightly so. This is a fantastic addition to any werewolf collection. The only problem is, because you get 4 amazing head sculpts, you kind of have to buy 4 figures. I contemplated that once, but just didn't do it in the end. But it would have been lovely to have the full set, all displayed with the different sculpts and different weapons, different poses. That would be one hell of a presence on the shelf. At number 7, we have the Cool Models 1/12 scale werewolf, and I'm not sure of the exact technical name of these. It all happened so fast. They were announced, I pre-ordered them, they came through. There's another version as well with slightly darker fur. I did add some blood to this one because of the, you know, the white snow base and the more kind of whitish grey fur. The blood really kind of stands out and looks very nasty. But you had the option to get just the regular one that just comes with a plain black stand, nothing special, or you could pay a little bit extra and get this beautiful diorama. So I decided to do that. And they also give you the plain black stand as well, which is great for displaying spare head sculpts, that's what I use those for. I did paint the eyes white on both of my 1/12 scale Cool Models werewolves here. I just thought they looked a lot more scary with white eyes, so I went ahead and did that. But you can remove the clothing and just have a pure hairy werewolf if that's what you want. You can close the mouth and open it, and it's got great posability. I have reviewed both of them on the channel, nice in-depth reviews with poses, backgrounds, so definitely check those reviews out. Just type in Dean Knight 333 werewolf and everything will come up on YouTube. But yeah, number 7, a fantastic piece by Cool Models. Had to be in the top 10. It's an absolutely ferocious beast of a wolf. Now I just close the mouth a little bit. It won't close tight, but you can close it up a little bit. I'm pretty sure you can get him on all 4s, if I remember correctly. You can, you know, pose him like you saw the Doctor Who werewolf at the beginning of the video, and you can tilt the head up to accommodate that pose. So excellent stuff. Great work again by Cool Models when it comes to werewolf stuff. I've almost got everything they've done when it comes to the werewolf. I'm just missing one 1/6 figure that wasn't, you know, stylistically wasn't really for me, but I kind of still wish I had it because I'm so obsessed with werewolves. Anyway, moving on to number 6. Alright, at number 6 we have another Cool Models figure, and this is their 1/6 scale werewolf, which came out some years ago, and it's always been one of my prized possessions. I couldn't believe when they announced this. I thought, finally I'm going to have an amazing 1/6 scale werewolf, and that's exactly what it is. The sculpt, the paint is absolutely fantastic. And when you get him, he is actually in a human form, and then you have to take all the parts and swap them out and change him into a werewolf, which was really cool. And I've done quite a few videos. Check out the unboxing, check out the review, and I'm sure he's popped up in other videos now and then. But just an amazing sculpt, really good design. I've often been tempted to do a couple of little modifications. Like, I love the idea of having, instead of this jacket, I'd like the idea of like a kind of weathered and ripped and bloodied up T2 Arnie black biker jacket, like the one he wore in Terminator 2. Something like that on this would be pretty cool. You can't really take away all the clothes and just have a pure werewolf, because underneath the clothes it is the, you know, original kind of cheap looking plastic body that the human form was rocking. So the clothes cover up, you know, the exposed kind of cheap looking body. But even though it doesn't look that great, the body underneath all this, it does hold up well. Like, he can hold his poses, and it hasn't given me any trouble over the years, and I've had him since he was released. So yeah, definitely highly recommended the 1/6 scale Cool Models werewolf. It's a hell of a presence, very ferocious looking. Look at that. Great work on the eyes and the fur around the whole head sculpt. It just looks really, really convincing. Big hands with the huge claws. Very nicely sculpted and posed. Really well done. Yeah, I mean, you can see even with the weight of these hands and forearms, which are quite heavy, that original body underneath it all is still managing to hold up these arms no problem. So a lot of fun to pose and a hell of a presence. Yeah, so there he is at number 6. Could easily be higher on the list, but it's just how I'm feeling tonight. The 1/6 scale Cool Models Werewolf. At number 5 we have the Sota Toys Now Playing Series Dog Soldiers Werewolf. I have one boxed up, never opened, the brown version. And then we have the Tower Records exclusive grey version with the blood out of the packaging. My favourite werewolf movie of all time, my favourite horror movie of all time. Highly recommend you watch this if you haven't seen it. It's an absolutely fantastic film. There's the poster for the movie. Always love that. They say that it's kind of inspired by the Omen poster, and you can see that. They do have articulation. It's not the best articulation, but you can definitely get some good movement out of the arms and the head sculpt. And you can see in the packaging you do get a wall behind him with bullet holes, and you have the base here with all the entrails and the bullet cases and stuff. Absolutely fantastic. These werewolves in the Howling, well, that's why I'm getting confused. These werewolves in Dog Soldiers, much like the werewolves in the Howling, it's not like in American Werewolf in London when David Kessler turned into the werewolf, he didn't remember anything. When these werewolves change, the person is still in control of what they're doing, much like in the Howling, so they really toy with their victims and scare the hell out of them as much as possible, and they're just really cruel werewolves, which is absolutely terrifying. So, one of my absolute favourites. Just a really horrific design. Such a classic looking werewolf. Ultimate beast. And it's really nice that you do get a spare head sculpt as well with a closed mouth. So you do have that option. You also get the severed arm there, which is really gory. But really nice to have one of these still packaged up. I'll probably never take it out of there, because it's quite a hard piece to come by these days, and they go for a lot of money on eBay. I managed to snag one of the last ones that was at a reasonable price before it all kicked off. But there it is, folks. My favourite werewolf movie of all time, my favourite horror movie of all time, Dog Soldiers. And Sota Toys did such an amazing job bringing this to life in figure form. I really wish they had done it again in a quarter scale, but unfortunately that didn't happen. This is about, it will scale well with your NECA figures. It's that kind of figure. Alright, we'll move on now to number 4. Alright, now at number 4 we have another one of the 1/12 scale Cool Models Werewolf. It's basically the same one that you saw before, but this one has darker fur, and I just love that. Again, I did repaint the eyes white, pretty simple little mod there, but there's just something about the darker fur. The 1/6 scale werewolf that I showed you by Cool Models, I've always been tempted to paint that in more of a charcoal, almost black fur look, but there's just something really evil about this one. It just looks terrifying. So yeah, this is my favourite out of those two 1/12 scale versions. Same kind of diorama base option, but painted slightly differently to look like the woods rather than the snow that we saw on the last one. And just a lot of fun to pose and a hell of a presence. Again, you can remove all the clothing and all the fur is there underneath, so you can just have a pure werewolf look. But highly recommended. Not sure what the technical name for this version is, I just call it the darker fur version. But yeah, there you go, number 4, another 1/12 scale werewolf by Cool Models. Cool Models looking after us, man, with the werewolf stuff, and I hope they continue to do so. Again, check out the review I did on this one and the snow version. Nice in-depth review for you to enjoy. There's a nice skull in between his feet there as well on the base. Nice big claws, excellent paintwork and sculpt. And again, you can open and close the jaw, articulate the head, all that good stuff. Very poseable figure. Great piece. At number 3 we have the Wolfman by NECA, which they also did in the black and white version, which is really nice. But even though this isn't my favourite werewolf by any means, but it's the original, it's the one that started it all, and NECA gave you so much stuff in here. So many different looks you can put him in. Just incredible. Check out my review. It does have quite a funny moment in there. It was a lot of fun to make. definitely recommend you check out my actual review on this piece, because you will get to see him in all his different looks and poses, and I had a right laugh making that one, so check it out. Beautiful packaging, can't complain. I mean, I don't know, can't remember what score I gave this out of 10, but why wouldn't I have given it, well, spoiler alert, 10 out of 10. It must be, because it's just an absolutely incredible addition. Now you'll have to forgive me for not taking him out of the packaging, because my camera here is running low on battery. I've only got 2 bars left, and I've still got 2 more figures to film plus honourable mentions. But like I said, do check out the review, because I show you everything in that. And look, 3 different head sculpts, the cane, everything. Absolutely fantastic. And more awesome pictures of the figure on the side there. This is an amazing piece, and has to be high up in the top 10. Highly recommended. And at number 2, easily could be number 1, Most Reunion Veteran William Werewolf. It's just, yeah, this is incredible. Like Furry Planet comes with a comic book. You only get 1 figure, but you can have him in 3 different distinct looks. I had to buy 2 of these because they're just that awesome. I couldn't decide on a look to display him in, so I've got one done up like this, and you've got the other pure werewolf here, just absolute rage. You know, easily one of the very best, maybe the best werewolf figure ever made. There's no doubt about that. The accessories they gave you, the quality of the sculpt, the posability, overall presentation, the thought they put into it, unbelievable. Check out the review, lots of poses and fun stuff like that. You even get the comic book that's included, and that's really, really nice. Quite a thick comic book as well. They really didn't cheap out. This is amazing, and I couldn't believe it when I received it. I almost passed up on it because I thought I pre-ordered it, and then it turns out that the person I thought I pre-ordered it with, I didn't. And then I thought, oh well, screw it, I guess I'll just miss out on this one. Then I realized I actually did pre-order it from Big Bad Toy Store, and then it turned out you can get them a little bit cheaper on Amazon. So they are out there, and if you don't have one of these yet, have a look on Amazon, or Big Bad Toy Store still might have them, but I can't recommend these enough. They are amazing, absolutely amazing. Definitely deserves to be even number 1, but I've put it at number 2 because there's just something that is just calling to me a little bit more for the number 1 spot. We're about to find out what that is. At number 1, I had to give it to the NECA Kessler Wolf from American Werewolf in London. It's absolutely incredible. They pulled out all the stops and they delivered what everybody wanted, I'm sure. This is so satisfying. They gave you the 2 different head sculpts with the closed mouth and the open mouth, so I had to get 2. I also liked the idea of having a more clean version and then the bloody version, although I think there's, you know, because I've got 2 of them, there's multiple head sculpts around me at the moment. Like there is the open mouth clean before I added the blood, and this one here I added the blood to make it look really nasty. Look at that, that's absolutely incredible. Look at the eyes, look at the sculpt, amazing stuff. Great posability. And oh, this custom stand here is by Matt Weaver at Wicked Designs on Instagram. Done an amazing job with this. And this is obviously when he bursts through the shutter door at the cinema in Piccadilly Circus and bites the head off the policeman. Absolutely incredible. Can't recommend it enough. I'm sure most werewolf fans already have one of these, but if you don't, you need to get one. Do it before they all sell out one day and they end up going for silly money on the aftermarket like eBay and stuff. But absolutely incredible. Just absolutely knocked it out of the park. 10 out of 10 piece. And it has to be number 1. Tonight anyway, I feel like it has to be number 1. We'll see what happens in the future with other werewolf figures that we'll, you know, probably get, hopefully. You know, maybe Trick or Treat Studios might bust something out in 1/6 scale, I'm hoping. One day, once they're done with whatever else they've got up their sleeve, I would love to see some more options for 1/6 scale werewolves out there. But NECA, please keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you'll bring us a howling werewolf, maybe even a dog soldier's werewolf one day, maybe Silver Bullet, Bad Moon, who knows. But I'll throw in some honourable mentions, some stuff that didn't make it into the top 10 now, but that is my number 1 pick. Again, let me know what your favourite werewolf figures are in the comments, and your top 3 werewolf movies, please. I would love to know. Alright, so honourable mention for the NECA Toony Terrors American Werewolf in London set. Absolutely awesome. And great sculpt on Jack here. Looking quite amusing with the expression on his face. But great sculpt, great paint. Really well done. Also, I don't think of this werewolf here as David Kessler. That's David Kessler, bless him, wreaking havoc on the streets of Piccadilly. I think of this one, because it came with Jack, I think of it more as the werewolf that actually took Jack out in the moors. So, just in my head anyway, that's how I think of this werewolf. The one from Knott's Farm. And inside the packaging you get a really nice bit of interior packaging you can use for photography of that area where the Slaughtered Lamb pub was. So very nice pieces to own, and I definitely recommend them. Just didn't quite make it into the top 10, although they easily could have. Easily. And my last honourable mention is the Sota Toys bust of American Werewolf in London, which is really rare. They only made 1,000 of these. I added the blood. I actually had to resculpt the teeth myself, if I remember correctly, because one of them broke off. I added the little flames there on the candles because there wasn't any flames before. And it's just a really nice piece to have. Very rare, like I said, and very glad to have it. I'll just give you a little look from the side. Yeah, really nice sculpt. Almost makes you wish the rest of the werewolf was there and it just carried on with the rest of the body. But really, really nice how you get the 5-pointed star. Obviously harking back to that infamous, famous scene from the movie. Very creepy. That intro to the film, that first 15-20 minutes will always be frightening to me. That sense of being in a strange place, in a strange land, and no friends other than the one beside you, and all of a sudden you're out in the cold walking, you get lost and you hear that famous howl, and then this thing attacks you. Absolutely terrifying. Alright folks, well thank you for watching, and I will be bringing you a review on an amazing 1/6 scale custom howling Eddie Quist werewolf figure very soon, hopefully just in time for Halloween. So look forward to that. Please drop a like on this video and let me know how you're doing. I hope you're having a good October. And thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.